Okay, in this video, I'm going to prepare you for the lovely task of packing for your trip. So let's get right to it. First of all, let's talk about luggage. It is very important that you pack light. And by packing light, I mean, let's just talk about the different sizes of suitcases. So you've got your carry-on suitcase, you've got kind of a medium-sized suitcase, and then you've got the really large ones. Like we can all kind of relate to that. I definitely am not going to ask anyone to carry on only. I used to, my students, everyone carried on. And for a 2-week tour overseas, everyone carried on. So it is, myself included, so it is possible, but I'm not gonna ask you to do that. I am gonna ask you to try very hard to at least get all of your things in a medium-sized suitcase and not one of the gigantic ones. I know that we're going to be overseas for anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks, depending on which tour you're taking. So do what you need to do, but I do encourage you to please try to get everything into a medium-sized suitcase, primarily for your own good. Some of the hotels in Europe don't have large elevators or elevators that always work well. It is not uncommon to be expected to lug your suitcases up a flight or two of stairs. It can happen, rarely, but I do want you to be mindful of that as you're packing. And we'll help each other out, so don't panic when you hear me say that, but just keep in mind, you're going to be lugging your things around. So personally, I take a medium-sized suitcase. Let me give you some tips. One thing that I love using when I pack are packing cubes, such as these. And this is the large one. There's smaller ones inside, and I just purchased these on Amazon. They are not compression packing cubes, they're just packing cubes. But it's amazing how much more I can fit into my suitcase when I use those cubes. It just kind of pushes it all in there, keeps it all nice and contained, all of my clothes. And I really do find them very, very helpful. Now you have to be careful because the more you pack in there, the heavier your suitcase gets, but those are very nice. So I always take my medium-sized suitcase and I use packing cubes to make sure I can get all my clothes and things in there. And then I also take and that bag gets checked, and then I also take a carry-on. For your carry-on, I would recommend something such as this. This is like a suitcase backpack. So of course it has the backpack straps, but you can lay it on its side and it opens just like a carry-on suitcase. So that's nice as well. If you don't have something like that, another option is just a basic weekender bag, something similar to this. I like this weekender bag because it actually has a compartment on the bottom for shoes, but either of those, that's what I take. So I have my medium-sized suitcase that I check, and then I have my weekender bag. And then in addition to that, of course, you're also going to want your small day bag that you're carrying around with you every day while you're on tour. So that might be something like this, a little front backpack, or a more traditional just purse that I would wear crossbody, something like that. So those are the three pieces. I've got my suitcase, I've got my weekender bag, and then I've got my day bag or my personal item. But that's really it. And I am also very, I don't want to have to wheel two things by myself. So I may have my medium bag that I check, and then I have smaller bags that are carry-on size, weekender size that have wheels, but I don't want to have to wheel two suitcases, all over the place. It's just easier to throw it on my shoulders. So there's just some tips there. There's limited space on the buses for all of our luggage. That's one reason why we need to really make sure that we're packing light. And then, as I said, you just don't want to have to lug all that around. So those suggestions fall in line with Go Ahead's recommendations as well. So there's that. If you have any specific questions about packing, let me know. I do want to show you this real quick. This item is actually a duffel bag in a little pouch. And I do like packing this in my suitcase when I go, because if I end up with more souvenirs than I can fit on the way back, then I have this duffel, and this is a huge duffel. So if I need to, that last day or so, when it's time to come home, I can put all my dirty clothes in the duffel, and I can check 2 bags on the way home, and that way I have plenty of space for my souvenirs. This is probably the smartest investment I have ever made. It was like $10 at Target or something. I bought it years ago. I take it on every trip just in case, and I've used it more than half the time. So it is great. One more little tip: if you do decide to do a little fold up duffel like this in case you overshop, do go ahead and put a luggage tag in there, strapped to the duffel, so that when you check it on the way home, you've already got a luggage tag with your name and address on there, and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that's kind of the luggage piece of packing. Now let's talk about just some general European etiquette as far as clothing and that kind of thing. And then you can take what serves and let the rest go. If what I'm saying sounds ridiculous to you, that's fine. I'm not giving you any mandates whatsoever. You be you, you dress so that you are comfortable and happy while you are on tour, and that is the most important thing to me. That being said, like, I'm not gonna judge you, nobody's gonna judge you for what you wear, but I do want you to feel comfortable, and both in that culture and temperature wise. So I'm gonna give you some suggestions. So first of all, you've maybe heard, or if you've been to Europe, you know, the general dress is a little bit more elevated than what we're used to here. I would say particularly in the Midwest. And they definitely don't wear athletic wear around unless they're going to the gym. They don't, so like leggings and joggers and just graphic tees and things like that, they don't exist over there unless they're going to the gym. You don't see people walking around in that kind of clothing. And okay, so here we go. So for gentlemen, like, kind of think golf course. So pants, nice jeans, nice shorts. You're not going to see any denim shorts over there from anyone local, for sure. Maybe from a tourist, but denim shorts aren't really common. So kind of think golf course. And then as far as the top, so think like a golf shirt, short sleeve polo, collared shirt, even a t-shirt. But again, I personally would avoid a lot of graphic, basketball championship, whatever, or Nike or whatever. It's just, it just screams tourist, and it can kind of make you a target. If people are trying to target tourists. So, I mean, we're going to stand out anyway, no matter what we do as tourists. But if you can kind of blend in a little bit, it might make you feel a little bit comfortable. Men, you don't need a jacket or anything like that for our dinners. Maybe bring one long sleeve button up, but I mean, you don't have to. Your long sleeve polo shirts, golf shirts, that kind of thing would be fine for our dinners, but just don't worry too much about it. You just have to be comfortable, and the temperature can change. So during the day, if we are traveling, I mean, check the temperature, but it gets warm. You're outside all day long, so you need to be able to kind of layer and have a jacket if you get cold, or if we're on the bus and it's cold. But then also if we're out in the heat all day, you want to be able to be cool. So ladies, pretty similar, of course. Pants, like, I can speak to this from personal experience. Like, I have a black pair of linen pants that are my favorite to travel. So pants, nice jeans or nice shorts. Also, like, a shirt like this is a perfect example. Just a lightweight short sleeve blouse or shirt. Nice t-shirts or tank tops. Just be sure, like, be modest. And then sundresses are great, even strappy sundresses, they're great. I do always travel with a lightweight scarf, and I take it out with me every single day so that I can be modest if my sundress is maybe a little more revealing than I'm comfortable with. You also want to be prepared to cover your shoulders and knees, of course. If you're going into a church, which we do a lot of touring of churches because they're historic, they're gorgeous. I mean, we walk into a lot of churches when we're touring overseas. And the expectation is that your knees and shoulders are covered. Now, if men or women, if you're wearing a pair of golf shorts and they come to an inch above your knee, they're not going to stop you for that. They're going to let you go right into the church. That's not the kind of shorts that they're concerned about. They're concerned about cheeky, shorty shorts. And I don't think any of us are going to be wearing those. So, you know, those kinds of shorts are fine, but you will have to have your shoulders covered, ladies. So I don't think any of my men are going to wear tank tops. But just make sure that you have like a scarf or something that you can cover your shoulders. Okay, or a little sweater or cardigan, something like that. I already talked about avoiding athletic wear, graphic t-shirts, or heavily logoed clothing. And then the other thing I want to mention real quickly is be prepared to rewear things, you know? It's really fine. I know that if you get really hot and sweaty, you're not going to want to rewear clothing necessarily, but when you're packing, be strategic in thinking about things that you can rewear, especially if you change clothes for dinner, which sometimes we have the opportunity to do that and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're just in the same clothes all day and we just roll with it. But, you know, if you bring a pair of nice, I don't know, khakis or something for dinner, you can rewear those every night. You know, you don't have to have 3 different pair. I also am definitely a fan of doing laundry overseas. I mean, I bring like 3 or 4 pants, 3 or 4 tops, couple sundresses, and that's it. And then I just wash, rewear, mix and match. It's not difficult to do laundry in the sink. It's very easy to do undergarments that way. But even other clothing, I just bring a giant Ziploc bag and little liquid detergent packets that are made for laundry on the go, and I just do my laundry that way. Some of our hotels may have laundry service. You just have to be really mindful though, because there's a turnaround time and we're on the go a lot on these tours. And so if you're going to use laundry service, make sure you're using it at a hotel where we're going to be there a couple nights, and make sure you get that laundry, you know, turned into them really quickly so that they have time to get it back to you before we're on the bus moving on to the next town. So you just have to be very intentional about that. And I've had travelers also, you know, when there's a free afternoon or a free day, they just find a local laundromat and they take their clothes to the laundromat and they do their laundry there. And that's not a big deal either. Sometimes you can just buy laundry detergent right there at the laundromat. That's been my experience. And so it's easy to do that too. It's a lot easier to do a little hotel sink laundry than it is to try to pack for a 2-week tour and wear something different every day and every evening. That's just a lot. So I hope these tips have been helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Do a little research on sink laundry, and there's all kinds of fun things that help make that easy to do, and I can give you some personal tips as well. So, okay, I hope that helps you pack.